Hey, third grade, this is Miss Liberty with your next reading lesson for this week. We are going to continue reviewing our nonfiction second grade standards, so we are ready for our third grade standards when we return back to school and online on January 19th. So today is going to be all about nonfiction text features. Yesterday, during Reading Fundamentals, we learned about one type of nonfiction called biographies. Today we're going to focus on nonfiction text features that can help us better understand the topic or person we are reading about. Readers of nonfiction use information gleaned from the text and the visual or graphic details to make meaning. Students will learn how to use the text features found in reference nonfiction text to activate their prior knowledge and enhance their understanding of a topic. So looking at text features in nonfiction reference text can be a lot of fun. Sometimes there are maps, photographs, charts, headings, extra facts, or other features that help tell us what the text is going to be about before we even start reading the main body of the text. Text features can also help us learn more about the topic being presented. When we take the time to look at the text features before we start reading, we can think about what we already know about a topic, which can help us have better focus as we start to read. We can also develop questions that we are interested in learning based on the text features we've already discovered. So today we're going to explore a text that includes information all about the birds that live in our backyards. Before we read the text, let's check out some of the text features the author included. What's in your backyard? And then I see photographs of 5 different birds, and then there's information about each of those birds, and then there's another caption over here to the left, and I'm noticing behind these birds I see a map. So I can see the title of the article is What's in Your Backyard? That gives me an idea about what I might read about as I begin. Perhaps some birds that are common to backyards will be listed, and I'll get to see some familiar birds that I have seen myself. I also see some really cool photos, bold print. There's bold print in each of these captions, and a map. Let's check those out too. I already feel like I know some things about this topic that will really help me focus as I read the text. We're going to use a Kwl chart to list what we know about the topic, any questions we might have, and then after we read, we'll fill in some information we learned from the text features and the text itself. So before I begin reading, I also want to think about some questions that I have that I've thought a bit about what I already know. So I know that there are many different types of birds because I've seen them. I've seen lots of different types of birds in my backyard. I know that some birds prefer to live by the ocean and some prefer to live in warm, dry areas. I know that North Carolina's state bird is the cardinal. I know that birds have a beak and wings. And I also know that birds fly south for the winter to get warmer. They do not like the cold weather. So based on what I saw in our text so far and what I already know about birds in the backyard, there are some questions that I'm wondering. I'm wondering, where are seagulls typically found? Where do they typically live? I'm also wondering, do birds live in really cold places like Connecticut or Maine? Because I know that they fly south for the winter to get warmer. So do they even bother living in really cold places like Connecticut or Maine that kind of stay cold all year? And are roadrunners a real bird? I've seen them in a cartoon, but never in real life. And I've seen them in books, but always a fiction book that is a lot of made-up information. So let's read the text now and see if we can find answers to these questions or if we learn some new information about backyard birds that we never knew before. All right, what's in your backyard? So the first caption over here says, birds live all over the world, so wherever your backyard might be, take a look out the window. You're likely to see a backyard bird or two. Okay, so I'm going to start over with this star right here because I grew up in New York on Long Island right here, and this bird is pretty close to where I grew up. So I want to go ahead and see what this bird is about. In Agunaquit, Maine, seagulls are common. Wow, okay, so birds do live in Maine where it is really, really cold. Let's see, I've also been to Florida. You might find a mockingbird in your backyard if you live in Ocala, Florida. Oh, that's really neat. A mockingbird in Florida, okay. And then here we have this bird over here in Minnesota. Loons can be found swimming on Lake Buffalo in Minnesota. Okay, so they live by the lake. And then going across our country, we have a Steller's jay is easy to spot in Seattle, Washington. So the state of Washington also can be a very cold and cool place. And then on the bottom here, we have people in Brownsville, Texas, see roadrunners all the time. Oh my gosh, so there really are roadrunners that are a bird, and you can see them in real life. How awesome. Maybe I should move to Texas to find out. So now that we have read the passage, let me write down all of the information that I have learned about birds that could be found in the backyard. Seagulls can be found on the coast of Maine. Birds really do live in cold places. They live in places like Maine and Washington. And wow, roadrunners are real and can be found in the backyard of people who live in Texas. Looking at the text features really helped me focus my reading and connect with the topic. I can't wait to take another look at the birds in my own backyard. So today on Seesaw, I'd like for you to try using text features to think about what you know and generate questions as we prepare to read another article about birds. Think to yourself, what do you know about birds' eating habits, and what else do you want to find out? When you log into Seesaw today, you're going to see your directions here. The link for this video is right here. You're going to click Add. You're going to use the text tool to fill in what you know about what birds eat. That's the K column. And then you're going to use the text tool to fill in questions that you have about birds and their eating habits. And that's our W. That's our what we wonder. Then you're going to read or listen to the passage. And then finally use the text tool to fill in what you learned. So here is what that looks like. On this slide, you're going to use the text tool to fill in what you know about what birds eat. So for example, you might write in, birds eat worms. And then you might fill in a question that you know about this, that you want to know about this topic. Do birds prefer one worm over another? Do they have a favorite? Like I have a favorite snack. Do they have a favorite type of worm or a favorite snack that they would enjoy? I don't know. Let's see if we can find out. So you're going to fill in at least 2 things that you know and 2 questions that you're wondering. Then you're going to either click play or read the passage on slides 2 and 3. And then on slide 4, you're going to use the text tool to fill in what you learned about what birds eat, and if there is new information that you have learned about birds themselves. Make sure you fill in at least 2 facts in this column that you have learned, and then click the check to complete when you are done.